The importance of numbers in the Bible. The number 200. The number 200 appears over 30 times in the Bible. According to Rene Allende, 1889 through 1942, 200 represents the duality in the creature, duality of tendencies, magnetic polarities, poles of homology, sexuality, but not duality of constitution, soul-body, as claims Descartes with the official church. Others more simply claim 200 is a symbol of insufficiency, upheaval, and antagonism. In the book of Joshua, chapter 7, there is a record of Achan from the tribe of Judah's sin. Despite being commanded not to, Achan stole 200 shekels of silver and other goods. Joshua 7:21. When I saw in the plunder a beautiful robe from Babylonia, 200 shekels of silver and a bar of gold weighing 50 shekels, I coveted them and took them. They are hidden in the ground inside my tent, with the silver underneath. Joshua discovered the plunder in Achan's tent. As a punishment, Joshua had him stoned to death. This also served as a warning to other people. Money is insufficient to save someone from sin. It is recorded in the book of Judges that the mother of a man named Micah melted 200 shekels of silver to create an idol. Judges 17:4. So after he returned the silver to his mother, she took 200 shekels of silver and gave them to a silversmith, who used them to make the idol. And it was put in Micah's house. Micah's house became an idolatrous house of worship, which was consequently adopted by the tribe of Dan. Thus, the tribe of Dan was the first to turn away from God, something for which they were later punished. This shows the insufficiency of man-made religions. An example of antagonism in relation to the number 200 can be found in the book of Acts. Paul, who is endeavoring to spread God's word, causes an upheaval amongst the Jews. Some accuse him of breaking their laws, and others vow to kill him. Acts 23:23. Then he called 2 of his centurions and ordered them, "Get ready a detachment of 200 soldiers, 70 horsemen, and 200 spearmen to go to Caesarea at 9 tonight." After the plot on Paul's life was discovered, it required 200 soldiers and 200 spearmen to escort Paul out of Jerusalem to Caesarea to ensure his safety. King David's son Absalom tried to take the throne from his father. This upheaval did not bring Absalom the desired result. David sent an army to oppose his son and won, resulting in Absalom's death. It is recorded that Absalom's hair weighed 200 shekels. 2 Samuel 14:26. Whenever he cut the hair of his head, he used to cut his hair once a year because it became too heavy for him. He would weigh it, and its weight was 200 shekels by the royal standard. Absalom hired 200 men to fight for him, although they were not aware they had been recruited. 2 Samuel, 200 men from Jerusalem had accompanied Absalom. They had been invited as guests and went quite innocently, knowing nothing about the matter. The number 200 first appears in Genesis 11:23, which says, after he became the father of Nahor, Serug lived 200 years and had other sons and daughters. The second use of the number appears later in the same book. As you may recall, Jacob tricked his father into giving him his older twin brother's birthright, Esau vowed to kill Jacob, who escaped to Canaan. Later, God commanded Jacob to return home, despite the risk of being murdered by his brother. When Jacob discovered Esau was marching out to meet him with 400 men, he sent him a gift of 200 female goats and 20 male goats, 200 ewes and 20 male rams. Genesis 32:14. Despite the upheaval and antagonism Jacob's earlier actions had caused, the twin brothers met peaceably, and Jacob's arrived safely at home. Another example of antagonism can be found in the book of 1 Samuel. Saul hated David and said he would give him would only give him the hand of his daughter Michal in marriage to David if he completed the supposedly impossible task of bringing back the foreskins of 100 slain Philistines. Not only did David achieve this, he doubled the amount. 1 Samuel 18:27. David took his men with him and went out and killed 200 Philistines and brought back their foreskins. They counted out the full number to the king so that David might become the king's son-in-law. Then Saul gave him his daughter Michal in marriage. There are plenty more examples of 200 in the Bible. Some relate to aforementioned symbolism, others do not. In some cases, the number may have been used to represent umpteen. Here are the rest of the examples I found. I will leave it to you to decide whether they are meaningful. 1 Samuel 25:13. David said to his men, "Each of you strap your sword." So they did, and David strapped on his sword as well. 400 men went with David, while 200 stayed with the supplies. Okay. 1 Samuel 25:18. Abigail acted quickly. She took 200 loaves of bread, 2 skins of wine, 5 dressed sheep, 5 saws and roasted grain, 100 cakes of raisins, 200 cakes of pressed figs, and loaded them on donkeys. To be continued.